It was rock and roll Babylon. Sly
This
Stone was calm, sitting on a sofa, listening to a bearded white guy dressed in overalls who spoke with a down home southern drawl. His name was Jim Ford.
Hey, everybody out there, welcome back to another episode of the Audiophiles. I'm Andy, that's John, and we're here to listen to music. John is going to offer up a track for me to go off and check out. So, John, please, what have you got in store for us today?
The artist is a chappie called Jim Ford.
Jim Ford. Believe I've heard that name before.
Okay, well, the track is I'm Going to Make Her Love Me.
I'm going to make her love me. All right, that's a brazen statement. Okay, let me go off, give this a listen, and I'll come back and let you know my thoughts.
Good, good. And let me assure you, no animals were harmed in the making of this song.
Okay, good. Thank God. That's a load off my mind.
I'm gonna make her love me till the cows come home. I'm gonna make her love me till the cows come home.
I'm gonna make her love me till a rock ain't stone. I'm gonna make her love me till the kingdoms come.
I'm gonna make her love me. Yeah.
Oh, Papa, don't
And this is this is a lot of fun. One, it sounds like Crosby, Stills, Clinton, and Collins. Like we've got some George Clinton and Bootsy Collins coupled with this folksy sound of Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. I love that sound. It's also just the production and the way the guitar sounds in this is very akin to a lot of the music that I grew up listening to or popping on my dad's record player when I was a kid. And it just reminds me of that, I don't know, like mid to late 60s, perhaps super early 70s kind of production quality. And that is, even though I'm not from that era, I grew up listening to it on my dad's record player, like I said, and that ironically is nostalgic for me, even though this is clearly from before my time, or that's my, pretty safe assumption I'm throwing out there. Yeah, kind of just muffled a little bit, but in such a good way. And a slight tinny pluckiness to the guitar and even the bass. So yeah, this is already kind of charming me and winning me over. So let's see where we go from here.
you know I'm a little lost lamb, reaching for something
Hold on.
that's
Let me take this back a little bit. What did I just? For some reason, that right when I hit play, it was like that almost reminded me of "Foxy" by Jimi Hendrix, like or something like similar to it, not the same.
I'm gonna make her love me till the kingdoms come.
I'm gonna make her love me. Yeah.
Oh, Papa, don't you know I'm a little lost lamb,
Oh, pretty good.
reaching for something that's out of my reach, yeah. Sit right down, won't you, Papa, please talk to me man to man. Tell me how to practice what you used to preach, yeah.
That's
I'm
group
gonna
vocals.
make her love me till the cows come home. I'm gonna make her love me till the cows come home.
That's
Papa,
nice.
you used to say that a man could do anything he put his heart into.
The guitar. So much pluck and twang.
I'm gonna make her love me till fire don't burn. I'm gonna make her love me till the world ceases to turn. I'm gonna make her love me till
Love how he keeps saying till the cows come home, and all I can hear faintly throughout all of this really terrific music is what sounds like a block or a cowbell just being struck repeatedly. And y'all know, ask Christopher Walken, cowbell is a good thing.
Why, she's a dilly popper, pretty as the Mona Lisa. I know she's your pet in Mama's crowd, yeah. Why don't you just give her one whack, please? Instead, you keep her in a whirl. I'm not allowed in. I'm gonna make her love me till I fire don't burn. I'm gonna make her love me till the world don't turn. Everybody.
I'm gonna make her love me.
Everybody.
till the cows come home. I'm gonna make her love me till the cows
You
come
won't,
home.
yeah.
I'm gonna make her love me.
Listen to me. Papa, you used to say that a man could get anything with a little bit of sweat. I'm gonna make her love me till the hee-haw, yeah. I'm gonna make her
should.
love me till the hee-haw, yeah.
Had to play beat the clock on that one. Well, I mean, what more is there to say? I mean, this is a really fun song with great energy. Just like folk rock funk kind of feel to it. Oh man, this is great. This is just a lot of fun to listen to. I love those horns that came in, kind of like popping along. The bass line in this, and the guitar, the way they panned a lot of the guitar, the guitar, the bass in the production was great as well. This is just a lot of fun. And I'm gonna listen to this again, most assuredly. Yeah, good shit, good shit. Another good one, John. I really enjoyed giving this one a listen. It's just an overall fun song, put a smile on my face, and probably would every time I press play. Let's learn more about it and get back to our comrade John, and we'll see him on the other side.
Drainage in the lower field. He's back. So, you've had a listen to Jim Ford.
Yeah.
Yeehaw. What do you think?
Yeehaw. What do I think? I think a lot of
Yeah.
things. First and foremost, this is just a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
It's insane, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. And it's also nostalgic for me as well to listen to this kind of stuff. So yeah, really fun, almost playful guitar noodling, kick things off. But then as the second guitar and bass join the mix, I realize you can't spell funky without fun. So yeah, this definitely has some elements of like funkiness to it. And the song blossoms into this funky but oddly classic folk rock kind of sound. It's like Crosby, Stills, Clinton, and Collins. You've got, it's this
Oh,
weird hodgepodge.
that's a dinner party, isn't it? Eh?
Yeah,
Whoa.
it is. And everybody's fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm listening to it thinking, wow, this is so, this is very late 60s, mid to late 60s, maybe, I don't know, somewhere in that wheelhouse. Sound, you could just feel it, that classic rock kind of sound. But then there's this funk injected into it as well, and sort of that early funk. Yeah, go on, I'm sorry.
Yeah, wouldn't normally say this, but I think it's probably pertinent right now. So I'd not heard this until like 6-7 months ago. I stumbled across, I don't know how, an album called Country Funk. And I thought, that's an interesting proposition.
Yeah.
So I downloaded it, and I have to say that, I don't know, it was 25 tracks or something. 21 of them were absolute junk. But there were about 3 to 4 good ones, and this was a shining star amongst it, and that's how I got into it. I just thought country funk, I mean, come on.
Country funk is how we describe the air after the manure's been
Yeah, I was going to say.
fields, you know what I mean? It's got a bit of that.
It's the weather report, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt. I just thought it'd be worth telling you that.
Good. There's something about that like tinny sounding guitar and almost muffled nature to the production that makes me so nostalgic for for times like when I was a kid and I would rifle through all my dad's records and like pop them on after he sort of taught me how to use the record player. And these, outside of like a crackle and a hiss, these were the sounds that I was used to when I would pop on these obscure albums that he would have. So even though this predates my existence, I'm quite certain, it still is sort of the soundtrack of like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old me, and just listening to my dad's old shit.
No, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool.
So I really did. It warmed me to hear this kind of stuff. So yeah, Jim delivers these lines about how he intends to make her love him till the cows come home. Another funny saying. Do you guys say that over there? Is that a thing? Or is
Yeah,
that okay, all right. I didn't know if that was like quintessentially American or what, but that
that's
made
why I
me,
said no animals were harmed.
I understood. Yeah, I was like, don't want to lose a cow during a cattle drive. So, yeah, good shit, good shit. I'm liking this a lot. So there's this. I'm assuming that this portion that I'm talking about is the chorus of the refrain, given the nature of it. And I think this is confirmed by the next part, which appears to be the first verse of the song. And interestingly, this bit, just for a moment, reminded me of all things Foxy by Jimi Hendrix. And I think it
All
might,
right.
I'm making this connection because like how he scans the lyrics might be in a similar fashion to like cute little heartbreaker. Like I think your man Ford does this a little bit in whatever his lines or lyrics were or whatever, but I was like, oh, that kind of takes me back to a similar song from this era, even though the songs themselves don't sound anything alike. Um, so yeah, the pluck and twang of the guitar as well is really infectious during the verse. And we get another quick truncated appearance of the refrain before the song seemingly shifts back into another verse. But after only 2 lines, we come to find that this too is truncated in comparison to the previous verse. Then around 119, we get this great little twanged out lead guitar motif over top that kind of plucking bass line, and those shuffling drums, which also feature some serious cowbell clanging, slightly off mic and behind some stuff. But you can't, do something until the cows come home without having a cowbell to herald their return. So, yeah, I love this. I also loved the panning in the production from like can to can or speaker to speaker. Some killer bass work in this as well. That was really nice. Loved that. So we get another chorus, and beneath which you can still hear plenty of that guitar twanging. Then during the next iteration of the verse, I believe they begin to dispense brassy horn popping by the way of a trumpet, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if this happened before or not, but it's the first time I noticed it for sure. This extra layer of music injected into the mix is a nice addition to the sound and the musical texture. Also, that cowbell is going to need some Ben Gay and an ice bath after this because it's continuing to just take a thrumming. The song then shifts to another chorus and some hooping and hollering from Jim, as well as some more of this terrific backing vocal, like group vocals, which is fun. Like he heralds it in by saying everybody, which is that's like the calling card for here comes some group vocals. So yeah, loved that. That put a smile on my face. The last verse follows this bit, and we still have him addressing Papa, as he has through most of the song. He really looks up to his father for some advice on this, or maybe he just really wants him to know. And he repeats the refrain, and the song fades to its end. There isn't much to say about this one other than that it was just really fun. And I love the energy and the nostalgia that I drew from it. And it just harkens back to a time when I first kind of fell in love with music. And there's just something about, I don't know, the imperfection of recording at this time. The crackles and the fuzz and the humming and all that interesting shit that you would give every song its own character. It probably drove those guys crazy back then. Like, how can we clean this up? I can't wait for 50. But for some reason, going back and listening to it now, even though we have just a wealth of riches when it comes to the progress that's been made in production and advancements. There's still something that feels like, to take a line from him, this idea of coming home. It just feels like home to me. And it's probably because this was outside of radio shit. Most of the stuff I listened to, radio was for the car. Most of the stuff I listened to as a child was record player.
Yeah.
And so this reminded me of listening to music in my house, which is for me a lot safer, warm place than just driving on a roadway. So it even, it's like chicken soup for me. And I really enjoyed this. Not only because just the song is good, but just all the other stuff that goes along with listening to this, the sound quality and the era that it harkens to and all that stuff. So yeah, I love this one. This is a lot of fun.
Cool, cool. Yeah, like you say about listening to music in your house when you're a kid, it's kind of like the base camp of your character. That's where it all starts.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
sort of say the core.
And
Yeah.
it's memories in the house are those memories that I forgot what the term is from the psychology courses I took in high school and college, but the ones that make you recall smell and things
Mm.
like that. You know what I mean? Those memories that you have in a place, like you can smell what your mom had on the stove. And all that it's just odd, but this is something that can stir that kind of shit up in me, those memories. So yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot on him on the internet, so we could talk for a bit quite easily. But yeah, I picked this because it is fun and it's slightly insane. And there's a couple of cool stories, but it's not like the greatest song in the world or anything. But if you play it to anyone, they will enjoy it. They
Yeah.
may not change their lives, or they might not go out and get a Jim 4 tattoo or whatever, but they will enjoy it. And that's the reason why I wang this in, because it's fun. So,
Yeah.
James Henry Ford, born 1941, as I say, there's not a lot of info. American singer-songwriter, originally from Johnson County, Kentucky, which is in the United States of America.
So
Now, apparently he ran away from home at the age of 13. And then when sort of bummed around and just said in the write-up, he lived the best way he could. Don't know what that means, but he did. Then
it's
as
like
a
the shit
youngster,
you'd hear in a tall tale, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like Johnny Appleseed, he lived the best he could.
yeah. As a youngster, he joined the army for a while. Apparently, he then began his odyssey of being a great chef while in the army, but I don't know much about that.
Quit
So after
drowning me in
living,
all this detail and minutia, John.
so after living in New Orleans, Ford moved to Los Angeles and finally settled in Fort Bragg, California. As it said in the write-up, his music is a mixture of soul, country, and folk. And his songs that he wrote and co-wrote have been recorded by numerous artists, including Aretha Franklin, PJ Proby, Bobby Womack, and The Temptations. And Nick Lowe, who you probably haven't heard of, but is was a thing particularly in the 70s in this country, has cited Jim Ford as his biggest musical influence.
No shit.
And Sly Stone once called him the baddest white man on the planet. Now, Sly Stone to say that's amazing.
Yeah.
So in 1969, Jim Ford blended the sounds of gritty R&B with down-home country on the now legendary album Harlan County. Its music occupies the land where R&B meets country, Memphis and Nashville meet Louisiana, and the Mississippi Delta meets the Appalachia. The album has a Metacritic score of 88. It was completely ignored at the time. Pop Matters says, yes, Harlan County is outrageous, unusual, deft, and brilliant. It's also pretty damn corny. And considerations of hokiness go by the wayside, however, because Ford and his band are so convincing. When he and his chorus sing, I'm going to make her love me till the cows come home, you can almost see Ford, scruffy with beard, dressed in a denim jacket and filthy with fieldwork, railing against the closed door of his neighbor's farm shack, while the coal-laden cartoon winds of Harlan County blow all around him. When the track closes with an almost incredible whoop of countrified ecstasy, I'm going to make her until the hee-haw, yeah. It takes a heartless detachment not to grin in sympathy. Great writer. He is Jim also featured on Sly and the Family Stone's classic There's a Riot Going On album, and during a short stint in London in 1971, he helped ignite what would later be known as the UK pub rock scene, which is again one of the foundations for the punk scene. He wrote or co-wrote every song on Wings of Love, 1976 album by the Temptations. In the 80s, Jim Ford disappeared into a haze of drug abuse and erratic behavior. The movie Clean and Sober, which starred Michael Keaton, was actually written about Jim Ford. They just changed the name of the profession of the lead character. After beating a cocaine addiction in 2004, he was still a recluse. However, LP Anderson of Sweden's Sonic magazine managed to track him down it took him 2 years to his California trail home in April 2006. Bear Family Records re-released his album Harlan County with 15 additional previously unreleased songs and a 40-page booklet, and they called the whole package The Sounds of Our Time in early 2007. And the success of The Sounds of Our Time made the idea of recording new material possible. He was looking forward to cutting a new album with Dr. John the following spring. He had played with him before. And a charity gig for Ford was going to take place in London in May 2008, at which Nick Lowe was scheduled to perform together with Ford. However, on Sunday, November the 18th, 2007, concerned friends called Fort Bragg Sheriff's Department, who then went to go and found Jim dead in his home. He was 66. I couldn't find anything to say that what the cause of death was, to be honest with you. So whether he slept back into, whatever, or, Ticker just gave out on him.
Yeah, well, I mean, whether he fell back into it or it caught up to him.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you can't, your heart's going to fucking explode at some point. And it sounds like there was plenty of years of some pretty serious cocaine.
Probably about 30 years, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in a way, it's nice that all this came back to him and he was like, buoyant about the future. Yeah. So he had a bit of hope in him before he went. Anyway, let's get into the lyrics of the song and then I'll pick the story because it's an awesome story. So I'm going to make her love me till the cows come home a couple of times, which is obviously that's some of the chorus. And then Jim comes in. I'm going to make her love me till the rock ain't stone. I'm going to make her love me till the kingdoms come. I'm going to make her love me. Yeah. And that, is just so Sly and the Family Stone. It's unbelievable. It is just brilliant. Oh, Papa, don't you know I'm a little lost lamb, reaching for something that is out of my reach. Yeah. Sit right down, won't you, Papa, please? Talk to me man to man. Tell me how to practice what you used to preach. Yeah. I'm going to make her love me till the cows come home, blah, blah, blah. Papa used to say that a man could do anything he put his heart into. And I put in brackets, funky shit instrumental. And it does sound, because of the pace of the instrumental, it does sound like it's played by a bunch of retirees on stage and they just need a bit of oxygen and do the next little bit. It is really funny. And then it comes back in, I'm going to make her love me till the fire don't burn. I'm going to make her love me till the world ceases to turn. I'm going to make her love me till money can't buy. I'm going to make her love me till the old man river run dry. I'm going to make her love me till the cows come home. Hee-ha-ya. I'm going to make her love her. Yeah. Well, she's a dilly, Papa, pretty as a Mona Lisa. I know she's your pet and Mama's proud, yeah. Why won't you give her what would please her? Instead, you keep her in a world I'm not allowed in. Bit of a weird turn there in that verse. Yeah. I'm going to make her love me till the fire don't burn. I'm going to make her love me till the world don't turn. Everybody, I'm going to make her love me till the cows come home. Oh, yeah. I'm going to make her love me till the cows come home. Love me, do, yeah. I'm going to make her love me, yeah. Papa, listen to me. Papa used to say that a man could get anything with a little bit of sweat. I'm going to make her love me till the hee-haw, yeah. I'm going to make her love me. Hee-haw, yeah. I'm going to make her love me till the cows come home. So this is a little extract from the Bear Family Records that re-released this stuff. This is an extract from their website. And it's from the writings by that journalist in the booklet that came with the re-release. Okay. And he's talking about Jim, and he says, let's rewind to Los Angeles in the spring of 1971. The party inside the big house on 783 Bel Air Road had been going for more than 4 days. No one knew what time of day it was because Sly Stone, who rented the house from John and Michelle Phillips of the Mamas and the Papas, didn't allow clocks inside the building. On the living room table, there were long lines of white powder, and Ike Turner, along with his friend Johnny Guitar Wilson, partook. On a sofa, Bobby Womack was getting intimate with a young lady who seemed to have traded both school and parents for a more exciting lifestyle in California. Sly Stone placed guards with machine guns and dogs by the entrance just to make sure nothing interfered with his freaked out life. The fifth Beatle, keyboardist Billy Preston, wore a hat that would make the most flamboyant character from Shaft green with envy, while Miles Davis mingled amongst the crowd. It was rock and roll Babylon. Sly Stone was calm, sitting on a sofa, listening to a bearded white guy dressed in overalls who spoke with a down-home Southern drawl. His name was Jim Ford. It's just an awesome passage. That is amazing.
These sound exactly like what is being leaked out, or the supposition surrounding all of these Diddy freak-off parties that he had.
Yeah.
Like, just, armed guards at the door, obscure collection of celebrities doing all the nefarious things you can think of. I'm like, holy shit. So, yeah, I mean, that's the lifestyle, I suppose. Fuck me, man. That sounds crazy.
Yeah, so he carries on, just writing a little bit here. He says, in 19, you know most of this, but in 1969, Jim Ford released his first and only album, Highland County. Musically inhabited the same territory as From Elvis in Memphis or Dan Penn's Nobody's Fool, but Ford's record was every bit their equal. Hot country guitars blended with New Orleans-style piano, laid over a bedrock rhythm section of hard-driving, sweat-drenched funk and soul. Jim Ford's vocal style recalls the colourful medicine show acts that toured rural Kentucky at the beginning of the last century. Even now, it only seems a matter of time before someone samples the grooves of danceable tracks like I'm Gonna Make Her Love Me or Under Construction. An All Music blog post they put in here, it is very, very sad that none of these plans will materialize. Yet there is considerable comfort in realizing that Jim Ford did not die as an unknown in a trailer park in Northern California.
Mm-hmm.
In the last couple of years of his life, he finally surfaced, not on a large scale, but large enough for those who care. And he got to tell his story, sharing his unheard music along the way, and thereby ensuring his legacy would not be lost, but instead preserved. Pay tribute to this inherited hero by seeking out the sounds of our time. Roots rock is rarely as soulful or as funky as Jim Ford's music. So it's quite a nice little sort of obituary, epitaph, whatever you want to call it.
It's super sad that this is how things had to play out, but you're right when you alluded to this earlier, that there is something really sweet that he got to at least cherish a little bit of this recognition at the end before it all caught up to him.
Yeah. So there you go. There's not much else to say. I downloaded the album and I will buy it when I find a cheap version of it because it's all right. This song's a banger. But it's quite expensive out there. I'm trying to get a decent copy, so I'll get a cheap one eventually, and you'll see it in the frame there in the near future.
Thanks.
But yeah, I love this tune. It's just like fun, as you say. I love the stories. I mean, it's just incredible.
It's legendary stuff.
Him and Sly Stone sitting together is just madness. But it kind of makes sense because Sly Stone's a crazy mofo as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, brilliant. So thanks for listening to this, Andy.
Thanks for bringing it to the table.
I'd say a lot of fun. Folks out there, I don't know how many people are going to click on this when they see Jim Ford. Fingers crossed, it's double figures. But if you made it this far, hopefully you've had a bit of fun as well and some crazy stories. So please do hit the like button and drop some comments. We'd love to hear from you what you think of this, any other Jim Ford stuff or country funk as an idea. Let us know your thoughts. If you haven't subscribed already, I don't know what else is going to make you mind up.
Yeah,
country funk. Come on, subscribe already. Yeehaw.
We're gonna make you do it till the cows come home.
Yeah. And if that doesn't work, the ducks are going to get it. That being said, thanks again so much for watching. And we'll see all of you on the next episode of The Audiophiles.
See you later, guys.